Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. We are once more in the Feneum Astrologicum to continue our Astrologian quest, beginning with the level 45 quest. You were right. Greetings, your timing, my friend, is impeccable, for it just so happens that at this very moment I have need of your assistance. Why, our lovely lady Leveva has been out making herself a target for every cutthroat and cur in the realm. I've been focusing my efforts on our main objective. Training? There will be time enough for training later, no. I speak of our ultimate goal of spreading knowledge of the Charlian school of astrology through the Holy See. As you know, the Vault recently turned down my request to allow Lady Leveva to speak before them. But I'm not one to be turned away so easily. No, I have a plan. I will entreat Chief Astrologian Voldemort to draw up an official recommendation. The Vault will not so quickly dismiss the words of a man of such standing. Yes, I know my uncle loves me with a passion rarely seen even in young lovers, and there is really no reason why he would aid our cause, being a staunch opponent of to change it all. But that does not mean we cannot try, and if we fail, well, then we can try again, and again, and again, until he is so annoyed that he writes us a recommendation simply to see us out of his thinning hair. And by we, I mean you. Considering how red the Chief Astrologian became the last time I visited him, I reasoned it would be detrimental to my uncle's health should I arrive at his place of research, and we most certainly would not want him to fall ill or collapse before he penned us that recommendation. Junkinard, you have terrible plans, and for some reason I keep going along with them. And I was just thinking that flying through a coffin night in this getup can't be healthy. Who do I see me disturbing this fine evening but Junkinard's new scullery maid? I suppose you came here for this? This? Junkinard never sees to the maze, does he? Not only does that lout have enough to ask me for aid, but then he refuses to do me the common courtesy of accepting that aid in person. Ever the entitled little shite, more worried about his popularity among the fairer sex and how his actions disgrace his family's name. Ah, the slackjaw. I suppose you are wondering why in the world I, of all people, would agree to such nonsense. Well, it's simple. Allowing the heathen astrologian to dig her own grave in front of the entire vault and the XIV astrologian community will only serve to accomplish what I wished from the very start. Charlian astrology has no place in Ishgard. There's no place in Eorzea. There's no place in this world. It's dangerous and it serves no purpose but to take our eyes off what is truly important. Using astrology to free us from the dragon menace and ensure man's return to Alona's kingdom. Leveva's dithering will only make it that much clearer. And Junkinard? Perhaps this will finally spell his downfall. He has only been allowed to continue this nonsense because he's harmless. Too caught up in the luxury of being in line to counter Durendare's title to actually put forth any real effort in furthering his cause. Charlian astrology is but an oddity, which he can boast about at balls to get him in bed with his slatternly maids of lower houses. His father has protected him thus far, but allowing him and his lady to speak, there'll be no brushing under the rug the shame this brings forth. Junkinard will be finished. Not the most glowing recommendation, but we got one. Let's go back. Inform me right away once Chief Astrologian Voldemort has denied my request for a letter of recommendation, so we might begin work on our next request. He actually agreed. It cannot be. It is! The seal of Voldemort's! How did you... What did he say? No, wait. Maybe it's better that I do not know. Well, this changes everything. I have to arrange another meeting with a vault. Some of the cardinals to do in their manor. We will need wine and sparrow-stuffed pheasant and pheasant-stuffed goose and goose-stuffed chocobo and bards. A whole troop. Not to eat, of course. No, I fear I will no longer be able to join you on Lady Leveva's next opening of the gates. Do give her my regards, though, when you see her in Modona. Okay. we go to Madonna. My lady, bandits! For once we are not the bandits' target. We came across this young woman as she was being dragged into the hills. But we drove her abductors away. I suspect they have already mustered the courage for a second attack. It's a good thing you and John... It's a good thing you arrived when you did. The girl claims she's a student at the XIV and recently overheard Junkinard mention we would be conducting another gate opening in Madonna. She journeyed here on her own in hopes of having the chance to witness your astromancy firsthand. I say we give her something to remember. Please, I cannot go back with them. Well, sounds a bit shady, because so far we haven't been getting in there. Huh? Maybe curiosity? Who knows? Keep your filthy hands off me! Send in the hungry! They're mere bandits as we. They cannot see things you can. They are unaware of a tragic fate which is destined to befall them. You must reveal it to them in blood. Didn't see this coming, now did ya? Rise, slave, and tear the bastards limb from limb! Lady Leveva. This is probably preventable. You have my apologies, Lady Leveva. I did not think... The only fault was an insatiable thirst for knowledge. A realm where one must apologize for being a victim is no realm worth living in. But why would those men attack me? I believe it's now quite obvious that these bandits were not meant for you, but for me. It would seem that certain parties fear the spread of Charlene astrology, and will stop at naught to prevent it. My Charlene constellation chart, the bandits, must have been torn when they seized me. Here, you may take mine. I have the stars committed to memory. I don't know how I'll ever be able to... but I will think of something. Just you wait. I will repay this kindness tenfold. Lady Leveva, you mentioned something about certain parties wanting to prevent the spread of Charlene astrology. Have you any idea who they might be? I do, but I shall require more proof before I can be certain. You and Desiree should be able to assist me with that. However, as they say, first things first, we have a gate to open. Desiree, the fifth heaven gates await. Open your mind and become one with the stars. Lady Leveva mentioned before about those in power not wanting those below them to rise up. Could that have something to do with the attack? There, the Ewer. Focus, Desiree. Focus. And let the constellation's aether twine with your own. It is said through the fifth heaven flows a mighty river, carrying the water spilled forth from the scholar's vessel. And in that water is the strength of all that have come before and all who will follow. Few spun from the mayor's loom, few from which might and metal is weaved. Again upside down. But maybe it makes sense when water's flowing out of it. And now the power of the Ewer is forever yours, and forever shall it point you to victory. While I cannot forgive our patron for skipping yet another of his lessons, I cannot deny that the passion hidden deep beneath all his posturing may have its uses. Word of our field is spreading, and our inherent nature has begun to stir. Curiosity is proving the better motivator than skepticism and faith. Our time may come soon. Let's hope so. The Ewer blazes in the welcome, unlocking the gate to the fifth heaven. And back to Ishgard. Do not tell me, Lady Leveva was attacked again. I knew it. And without a reading, my talent grows by the day. What is this you claim? A fellow astrologian was moved by my words and went to witness the unlocking. That is amazing. I wonder who it could be, though. Would certainly recall speaking in detail with a young, subtle mind. I must find this woman and hold another special lesson with her. Lesson? Ah, that reminds me. Lady Leveva asked me to teach you a new technique before you had to open the fifth heaven's gate, which you have already gone and done, but it appears you were able to overcome your ordeal without it. Yes, exactly according to my lesson plan. You still wish me to teach you the technique? Very well then. Though I do not really see the point. Divinations of Astrologian transcended echo deep within your soul. And we learned gravity from that. Junkie Nut is now ready to burst with excitement. Make the Viscount wait any longer, and there is certain to be a wardrobe malfunction. Lady Leveva tells me that you are nearly ready to open the sixth and final gate. Yes, I said final. We all know there are 7 heavens, but opening the 7th is impossible. Well, except upon death, of course. An attempt to attune to the pole star would be sheer madness and most certainly spell your doom. But look at me, even now attempting to tutor the great Desiree, when it's obvious your talent far surpasses mine. Forgive me. Lady Leveva is yet to depart for the location of the final gate. Doubtless she fears that another bandit attack, but whatever the reason, she remains on the 2nd floor and has asked that you visit her at your earliest convenience. You have come far since that fateful day our paths crossed in the Black Shot, and now here we are, on the cusp of your attunement with the 6th heaven. Time truly waits for no woman, does it? Before we set forth on this task, I wish to teach you of a technique known as synastry. By temporarily enjoining your fate with that of the companions, they will reap the star's benefit as do you. As a passable journeyman astrologian, you only wield sufficient control over aether. You need only focus upon establishing a bond with your chosen ally to achieve synastry. Sinistry learned. Good. And spearheading initiatives. I believe we are ready to attune with a final constellation. The location of our next lesson is actually not far. Assume your travels have taken you to Camp Dragonhead? Excellent. I, as always, will go ahead to make my final readings. If each of our previous outings are any indication, the bandits which harry us will most certainly jump at this opportunity, so to have Grimperwain scout the area ahead of time and report any suspicious activity to the Knights garrisons at the camp. Let someone else bloody their hands for a change, I say. Feel free to tell Junkinat of our plans, for I do not doubt he already has some of his own. Lady Leveva has already departed. Well then, she must have leapt from the window, for I did not see her use the front door. I dare say that means we will be traveling alone? Of course I will be attending. Why wouldn't I be? Camp Dragonhead is but a few miles south and east of the Gates of Judgment. The journey take no time whatsoever. As for bandits, we need not worry about an assault. The camp is occupied by a full garrison of knights who patrol the surrounding hills day and night. They will not allow a flake of snow to fall on Lady Leveva's head, let alone a 30-pound warhammer. Good, then Camp Dragonhead. And we have a solo duty. So something's gonna happen. There's a weird Junkinat. Well then, it appears giving my constellation map to that Astrologian Radforst was unwise, as my readings for the location of the 6th heaven have proven slightly off. However, a second calculation has shown that we are close. The optimal location lies just to the north of here, in a derelict tower known as the Steel Vigil. You have a look of a learned about you. Might I ask if you've seen this star map before? It was in the person of an astrologian who came to us seeking help after being attacked. That is my map, the one I gifted the Astrologian in Waterfrost. You mean to tell me she was set upon again? Your map? Well, then I'm going to ask you to accompany me for questioning. The Astrologian claims she wrested this chart from one of her assailants before escaping their grasp. Lady Leveva, why would you assault the same woman you risk your life saving? Because she did not, my lord. Why would you even think something so foolish? This must be some sort of misunderstanding. I was present at the assault. We saved the young woman of which you speak from a party of bandits, and Lady Leveva gave her own constellation map to replace the one damaged by the assailants. My Lady Desiree here was also witness to these proceedings. Well, we have our own witness who says otherwise. So until we can have a trial and an adjudicator who can pass his judgment, Miss Lady Leveva will have to come in for questioning, for she herself has admitted the map is hers. It is alright. I have naught to hide, and arguing here will not bring us any closer to the truth. If anything, I wish to confront this woman who would bring false accusation against those who saved her life. Very well then, take me where you will. I shall answer all of your questions, and you will soon learn who is spouting falsehoods. My friends, you need not worry over much, for I shall be in the company of Temple Knights where no harm might befall me. I will return once I have proved my innocence. And why are you going north where there is nothing but an old ruin? No harm, Crover. That knight was the self-same Astrologian whom we saved in Mordona. The Astrologian who now claims we attacked her. Are you saying the Astrologian was a temple knight? No, listen, my lord. I'm saying the Astrologian is no more an Astrologian when she's a knight. We've fallen victim to a ruse that has landed Lady Leveva in the hands of those who have been attempting to kill her since she set foot in Eorzea. But you're saying she won't be safe in the presence of those temple knights? Those weren't temple knights, my lord. However, they were wearing the colors of our knights most heavenly, and if we were to assault them this near to the heavily garrisoned Camp Dragonhead, you'd be stuck full of arrows before anyone asks us why we even drew our blades. No, we must shadow Lady Leveva's captors and wait for an opportunity to take her back. How exciting! Can I take point? No, of course not. What was it about drawing steel? Yes, I say we keep our distance until an opportunity to rescue Lady Leveva presents itself. And I say that's what I have been saying all along. Now might I ask you to keep your voice down, my lord, or it will not matter how concealed you remain. Because they hadn't invented stealth missions yet, otherwise this would have been one, probably. You bring us some meat for the journey home. Yes, sir. Our imposter Astrologian has left the company to see those ogres. Let us take her unaware. Very good. This way you may follow. Not here. As I thought, the woman was self-same assistant in Mordona. I do not believe she was working alone. We must continue our pursuit. Quimborain? What are you doing there? Please, do not let me die here. It is fortunate for us that they are on foot. If we were to make it to, say, an airship, we'd have no means of keeping... Is what an airship I hear? We cannot wait for stragglers. File in. So beasts approach the company. Very dangerous here. I'll see you in the seventh hell. I heard something, so... Must inform the cap. This looks so silly. Because he is programmed to keep a certain distance, but he is currently on running, so... Just as I expected, these fools have led me straight to the answers I sought since my arrival in this backwoods realm. And if I'm not mistaken, my trusted companions should be arriving right about... Now, I'll be taking this. The moment you lift off in that airship, the whole land will know you're not true Temple Knights and you will be made to answer for your crimes. Once we're in the air, it will not matter what anyone knows, you fool. We'll not be returning once we have slain you and your friends. No one shall stand in the way of my fate, especially not some dog's body of a forum. I see nothing. I want Leveva, and I want her alive. Kill the rest and leave her corpses to the wolves. I'm not going back to Starlight. Grippering? As you command, my lady. The situation is dire, Desiree. We cannot let them take Lady Leveva. Gather the missive. I do not think Lady Leveva would mind us taking a peek inside that missive, would she? No, you're right. Like enough, she would. Please, my lady, allow me a moment to gather myself. Of course I knew the Temple Knights were false. I recognized the Astrologian we saved almost immediately, and if I didn't insult them that they believed, I would not. I also knew that they would lead me to the true perpetrators if I played along, fully aware that you loyal three would follow. And I'm pleased that you also knew we would somehow crawl our way out of that little tussle with our lives, because I was uncertain for most of the journey. Well, I was certain Desiree would make it, for the stars have already told me she would unlock the 6th gate here at the Steel Vigil. The very location we ended up at, despite our unexpected ordeal. Your fate, Junkie Nerd, well, I never bothered reading it, for I thought you would skip the lesson like you have every other one. Desiree, gaze upon the night sky and open your soul to the final constellation, the Spear. The spear is the gate to the sixth heaven, where Fury resides in the palace of ice carved by her own spear. Ice formed of moonbeams collected by the lover, Menfina. The spear fills us not only with the power to overcome our enemies, but also the compassion that is necessary to grant those same enemies mercy. And again... yeah, this is upright, right? And now that power is yours, to see directed at those fate required. It is done. You've attuned yourself to the 6 lower heavens. Now that you know their strength, the true journey begins. The spear blades in the Welkin unlocking the gate to the 6th heaven. Like I said from the beginning, the stars, the heavens, the arcana, they know our fates, but they are fickle in their information. It's up to us to prize it from their hearts and use it in a manner that might benefit all mankind. Please, my lady, allow me in a moment to gather myself. You have my congratulations, Desiree. What has taken me more than 15 summers to accomplish, you have done, and more, in a matter of moons. But our time together has taught me that, despite what you may believe they are, we all have our roles, and each role is just as important as the other. Without taking both Quimperane and you under my wing, you would never have saved Leveva from her assailants, meaning, in a way, I saved Leveva. Not that I'm one to take all the credit for such heroism. The cracked seal appears somewhat familiar. Nor shall I take credit for this missive that never would have been discovered, but not for me taking you and Quimperane on my... that cold stare. It befits this godforsaken place. Point taken. Let's break the seal and see what we... why, this handwriting? I've seen it many a time before. It is mine uncle's. But that would mean... it would mean the highest-ranking astrologian in all of Ishgard has been attempting to assassinate us. If the tribunal were to hear of this, he would be hanged. And the hanging will only honor another ill-tempered orthodox astrologian unwilling to open his eyes to the benefits of our discipline. No, we can use this missive to our advantage. As long as this remains in our hands, so too does the chief astrologian. Are you saying we use the missive to blackmail Voldemort? I am saying we merely grant the chief astrologian his life in exchange for a little assistance in furthering our just and noble cause. No more, no less. I see. You are quite the devilette, my dear. Very well, I will summon mine uncles to the astroscope, where we can present him with our offer. Good, and that means to the observatorium. Why must you insist on pestering me, Jean Quenard? I gave you your letter, now leave me be. Ah, but it would not be the only letter you have written lately, would it? Perhaps you recall a certain letter to the forum? A letter carried by a party of less than savory characters who attempted to kidnap Lady Leveva and deliver her to Charlian, not to mention kill me, my manservant, my good friend Desiree here, who you may have forgotten is currently an honored guest of House Thorntons. A letter drawn up and signed by none other than you, Nuncle. Oh, but do not presume to misunderstand us. We wish neither your disgrace nor your death. At least not at our hands. In fact, we wish very little from you. Naught, you might say. In the sense that you are never again use your influence to hamper our efforts at spreading Charlian astrology in Ishgard. Involve yourself no more in the affairs of me and my guests, and your secret remains safe. I will even forgive you for trying to have me murdered, if that is, you give me your word. It is not as if you left me much choice. You have my word, but now that silencing me will not make your nonsense any more acceptable to the vault. There are others who will see you fall. Others who care little whether or not I speak my piece. We are aware of the peaks we have left to scale. However, we shall not let that discourage us. I have been shown a path that I will altogether plan on walking, and the stars shall guide my way. The stars foretell many things, my dear. Not even the best readers can see them all. Do not forget this. So we have silenced him, but to hear him tell it, he was the least of our worries. With that, we end the level 50 quest and basically the first part of the Astrologian quest line. Now I'm level 60 and I have finished the quests up to that point. So we will continue with the New Game Plus further until the end of the Heaven's Ward part. But that will not be this episode. Until next time then, I'm Mace and don't get lost.